I think it's been a marvelous way to spend the morning. There were many insightful comments from colleagues from the finance sector. There were many very thought-provoking comments from Dr. Doyin Salami, who I think everybody knows as a guru economist, and also colleagues from KPMG that presented. So I think at the beginning we saw the survey that had been done across the CFO community and the things that they felt would be of concern to them, over 2019. And it turns out that this session is kind of timely because, now we've gotten past one of the key hurdles that were identified previously, which was just the elections, and people are able to now sit back and think about, okay, now we've crossed that hurdle. How do we now basically hunker down and do the work that we and our stakeholders and shareholders expect us to do? And many of them raised very critical points about just operating in the environment that I wish we had, government functionaries, people here who could listen to the kinds of issues that people raise about how monetary and fiscal policies are basically sometimes stifling business instead of opening up business. So, government often will go on a direction which they feel is appropriate for, whatever mandates they are trying to deliver for the country. And they have their own objectives. Well, sometimes some of those policies tend to be actually more painful for corporate sector and, for Nigerians at large. And in the end, we end up having a kind of what I'll call a secular reference, because we don't then get to move forward. So we might be making some gains in one sector, but or in some areas, but is at the expense of, gains in other areas, and particularly impacting on, economic growth, really. And obviously we end up with 1.9% growth in GDP, which doesn't help anybody at all. So yeah, I think most people will leave here a lot more enlightened about the kind of, I think, challenges they can expect to navigate in 2019. They'll leave here with maybe some tips and thoughts as to how they can navigate those challenges, as some of the colleagues spoke to. They'll leave here thinking about how they can plug into some government programs which might be beneficial for them. So I think it's been useful for everyone, and for me as well. So good. For me, it was an opportunity to talk about what we do in NSIA and how we are impacting in the infra space. So